Hello, enemies. Welcome to the regular podcast. My name is Reese Pieces, and this is my co-host.
What's up? I'm McKenna.
And we're going to be talking about our college experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just get right into it. So we have our regular school. And Mike, do you want to take this one off?
Yeah, sure. Where we
We're going to start with classes first.
All right, classes. So we're going to talk about both the good and the shit. So, Reese, would you like to start us off with the good?
All right.
Get through a little bit.
The one thing that I personally like about the classes is the different professors, because some of the professors are easier than others, obviously, and some really help me to engage in class. And well, some professors are kind of shit, and they had like a rough time grading us. And, like one time, like I missed a question mark on my one of these questions in it was like my bio lab. And she's like, nope, you get like a point off because you did that shit wrong. I was like, wow.
But I feel like they also did that petty shit in high school, but like with college, it's a gamble with like classes and professors and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So like personally for me, first semester I probably had like the most lenient like professors. Like my theater professor, legit, he did not care. Like you could turn in an assignment like the last day of like the semester and you get full credit. But yeah, and essentially like we would just like watch like fucking shows. We watch anime in there. That was fun. And yeah, and then you get like some of the bad professors, and we'll get into that like right now. But like there'll be ones that are super hard on you, like very strict. You need to be on class on time because. What, are we going to talk about like the differences between like high school and college yet or no?
No, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially it's like professors, like the hard ones, they will like literally fucking like annihilate you if you don't come into class at fucking like 8 a.m. or whatever your scheduled time is for the class.
Right.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. And also like grading is mad tough. Like my accounting class I have right now, I only have 3 exams throughout the semester and like maybe 10 homeworks. So if you fail like one exam, not including the final, if you fail one exam, it's like you're putting yourself in a position to fail like the entire class just from one exam. And it's shit like that. And you try to talk to your professor and you go out like in their fucking like office hours and shit. And you go in and it's literally like the worst experience. Literally. Because they're like, well, sucks to suck. You ask them for extra credit. Yeah, no, I don't do it in this class. Like, well, shit.
Right. And like, it's like almost a feeling like they're setting you up for failure.
Truly.
Like,
truly.
Like, and also like just some professors are really mean. Like our friend Kelly, she was talking about how like the professors literally yelled at the kids because they just couldn't get this assignment done or something in that realm. But like as a teacher, you don't blame your students directly. I feel like it's more of your teaching, whatever like the topic was at that point.
Yeah, right.
But let's talk about the food. Different food around campus, Mike.
Yeah, you get your dining hall staples. You got some fucking fast food place. Like most college campuses, universities, I should say, they have stuff like that. And essentially, I don't know. It's like
it's like food to survive on, really.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, our campus has a Chick-fil-A though, which is great. It has Chickies and Pete's, another great thing. But yeah, we'll show some pictures of our dining hall food. That shit is fucking awful. My first week here, the chicken we had was like undercooked, like actually undercooked.
And speaking of our dining hall, Lawrence, there was actually a rat in there.
Yeah, the Lawrence rat.
Lawrence rat.
Yeah.
And I would like to talk about Starbucks. And because our campus has a Starbucks, it's extremely popular. But every time that I go in there, there's just so many people. There's so many people.
Yeah. And that's the type of shit that you get, though, like with big like name places like that. Because it's also the same way with Chick-fil-A, and we'll get into a story about that in a couple of minutes. But yeah, it's awful. But again, it's like the food that isn't Lauren's food, top tier.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also like with our dining hall, every day like rotates with food. Obviously, it's like a normal cafeteria you expect from like a high school, that sort of thing. I don't know how yours was in high school, but it's like it was definitely an upgrade for me. I don't know.
It was definitely more food variety, like non-gluten, healthier options instead of like just the grill that I would see in my high school. Because for people that were vegetarian, vegan, or just wanted to eat healthier, there wasn't like really many options. But in like Lawrence, in our college, there's definitely a wider variety for those people, and I think that's awesome. I just wish the food just didn't suck.
Yeah, basically. And yeah.
And what's the Chick-fil-A story you want to talk about?
Oh, right. So this was me and Reese's like first week here. And obviously, since the campus has a Chick-fil-A and we have a bunch of new students coming in, they're gonna want a piece of that. They're gonna want them chicken sandwiches. They're gonna want them chicken nuggets.
It's good food.
They're gonna want the whole thing.
It's good food.
It's great. It's great. It's great. So me and Reese went with a couple other friends, and it took, I think we timed it, 2.5 hours. That is the longest I've ever waited for food, and I will never like wait that long ever again. You know
Yeah,
what I
it was
mean?
like it was atrocious. It just was awful.
Mhm.
Like didn't like the line come out of the building,
It did. It came out of the building for a hot minute because there were just so many people.
and like the walk from Inside Sites to Chick-fil-A, it's not that close. It's a walk. It's a walk. So just imagine all those people, that entire line. It was nuts.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't mention this before, but anytime that you purchase food, you have to swipe your card. They call it a meal swipe. Or you would use your flex, which is essentially just real money, but it's part of like the dining like package that you get when you apply for the college. So you can do, and there's combinations of it. You can do meal swipes with flex, flex no meal swipe, just straight up meal swipes. And thankfully our campus uses Grubhub. For a hot minute they did not. They took it off because there were so many orders that were happening at once. I think it was just because of Chick-fil-A. And like that was pretty annoying.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A was just gonna annihilate all like Grubhub orders, which like would have sucked.
Right.
Because a lot of the kids like rely on that, especially if kids like lost their ID. Like
Right.
let's say.
Yeah.
It's just like nuts. All right. So our next topic is dorm shit.
Dorm shit.
We love to
Good
see it.
Lord.
All right.
That is like that's something. We got some good shit to tell you guys.
All right. Also, shout out the 420.
420. Yes, sir.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, I know you guys hitting that grass. Y'all doing the grass right now.
All right. So, pros and cons of living in the dorm, Michael. So, you want to name some pros of living in the dorm?
Well, first off, let me say that before I went into college, I was originally just going to commute because I was very afraid of the college dorm experiences. You know, you were told about all the horror stories that would happen, all like you hating your roommates and all that kind of shit. And luckily my sister like was like, Michael, you need to like get in the fucking the dorms. Like it's part of the like freshman year experience. And I think we could safely say like ending our first semester that it was definitely worth it to be in the dorms.
Absolutely.
I don't regret a single moment. But there were some good parts to the dorms, but there's also some bad. Let's go over the bad right now. Reese, you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So, one of the bad things that really happened in the dorm, in my experience, is the first couple of days, especially in welcome week, is because you knew nobody. You knew nobody unless you were like going to school with a friend from high school, which I didn't do. I was stuck in the dorms for a couple weeks, made no friends. It was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
Until I like met other people, it got better, but that first couple of weeks were awful. Now, one of the big things that living in the dorm that I absolutely just hate, communal bathrooms. Because we live in the traditional dorms, which are the older dorms, which the boys and girls share bathrooms. It's awful. You go into the bathroom and see like just horrendous toilets, horrendous showers.
They don't clean them.
That's
something they don't tell
the
you.
Curtains
they
are broken.
barely clean them.
The curtains are broken off the showers. There's like toilet paper all over the stalls. It's just atrocious.
Yeah. Sam like spat blood on the fucking curtains the first semester.
Yeah.
It was crazy stuff. And yeah, another thing that I don't like too is that you have RAs on your room, and inherently they're not that bad, but a lot of times they don't care. I shouldn't say that they don't care, but it's like for certain shit you really need to like heckle them in order to like get your solution resolved. They don't tell you that. Like a lot of shit. I don't know.
Overall, I think the RAs do a good job because they're doing their job. Right. And some things are like, oh, you have too many people in there, like whatever, not a big deal.
That makes sense.
I really appreciate that from them because they were freshmen too.
True.
They were freshmen too, and
But it's a gamble on whether it's good. You get good RAs or bad RAs. Our RA is actually a really good friend of ours. Like now.
Shout out to Haley.
Yeah, shouts to Haley. She's the fucking greatest.
She really is.
Some other things too is that like for our first week, like the trash room wasn't open, so you couldn't even throw out your trash.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
I remember that. Like,
that was awful.
I collected all my trash in one small container, and every time it like got filled up, I just like kicked it down. Like I could have put it in the bathroom, but I just didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what people had to do. You had to put it in like the bathrooms, and then they would take it down.
All right. So now let's talk about some crazy shit that happens in the dorms.
You don't want to talk about the good stuff that happens in the dorms?
Oh yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah, because I don't feel like we've done that.
All right. So some of the good stuff that happens in the dorms overall is just having a community. Like if I feel like I definitely could have commuted, and I was thinking about it. Well, my parents wanted me to because for saving money and stuff, but then they eventually got me to live in the dorms, and I'm so thankful because I met like so many people here, and like every other night we like go into everyone's dorm. We're like, hey, how's it going? And we like watch a movie, play games.
Do all that kind of fun stuff.
Do all that kind of fun stuff. It's like a family. It really is. Like, and since you're neighbors, you do see each other all the time, which can be kind of stressful, which is more on the con side. But it's also kind of a gift because so you really get the bond with these people that you made.
Right.
And it's just a whole different lifestyle that you just can't get at living, at home or like in an apartment,
right.
or like an apartment by yourself, I should say. But it's just like so interesting.
Reese and I actually wouldn't have met if we didn't live on the same floor or hang out or anything like that.
Or if you didn't walk in that room.
If that fateful day did not happen, then it would have been a whole thing. And also, I kind of want to go back to the like bad stuff because there is a couple stuff that they didn't tell me about before we like got into college. It's really honestly mostly our university's fault. But it's just not to be like that kind of like fucking like mean and shit, but I don't know. Like for one, our elevators are broken almost every other day. Literally, like the symbol on the top that's supposed to tell you like the floor that you're currently going on, it gives you like a new symbol every day. It's either down, sometimes it's a triangle, like it's fucking it's crazy. Also we had some like power outages as well. One of them was like our first week when we were in the dorms, and it was when the hurricane happened. I don't know if you guys like remember that from last year, but like we lost power. It was fucking scary. Everything was dark, that kind of thing. And
okay, you want to talk about crazy shit now?
Yeah.
All right. So some crazy shit that happens at the dorm. One of them is our dorm's underwear. So in like the common area, because you have a little common area for our floor, and I just walk out one day and just this old hair. There was hair on it, hairy underwear on the chair, just laying there, and I was like, somebody's underwear. And like it was there for like a couple weeks,
a hot minute,
and like everyone that I like, the RAs, everyone, they were like, we are not fucking touching that. It's gross as shit.
There was a sign and everything. We could probably put up a picture right now. It was crazy.
It was just funny. It was just funny.
I don't know. It adds to the whole experience, like we said. but also we did a couple other things as well. We actually, fun fact, had like I don't know how to explain it.
Should we explain it?
Yeah. So
no.
Our first like bonding experience was not like anything else. So like Reese said when we were talking about before, a lot of our friends that we have now and the ones that we met were from like our wing and also like our rooms. And our one friend who is no longer in the dorms anymore for this semester took a picture of our one friend Corey. And we have the picture right here. When I tell you guys that this picture signifies more things than you could ever imagine, I fucking mean it. This is what we call Bald Corey, that we later dubbed fucking Evil Corey.
Yeah, Evil Corey.
We printed out the picture, we put it everywhere, and we were all laughing at it because we were just making stupid jokes together, and that's how we like found out that we like had a lot in common and stuff like that. And that really like I guess kickstarted us, and it was fucking crazy, dude.
Another thing is that we just have in the dorms. We just have fucking crazy dance parties, and like this is like a thing that we do.
Yeah,
I think it's. So
I don't
funny.
think anyone else does it. Everyone else goes to parties.
We have dance parties in their dorms.
Yeah,
and we just go freaking nuts. We'll show you some videos of us dancing. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Corey Uno thing?
The what?
The Corey Uno thing.
Oh, yeah. So one of our first times meeting our friend Corey, we had him do Uno because we were already playing. And it was right around that time that fucking song, what was the name of it? Ain't Got No Money on Me.
Down Below from Bradley Rich.
Yeah, that song. When it was like really popular at the time and it was like all over like social media, it was on TikTok, it was all that stuff. We were just cracking jokes about it because people were like doing like jokes about doing this and then fucking... I don't know how else to explain it.
Like he plays the +4 and he's like like that.
Yeah. No, he does like the whole like shoulder thing and then he does that. That's another video that we could show. It was very funny.
All right, and do you want to talk about the 5th floor?
Yeah. So we're gonna go over like the floors and stuff because we are actually on the highest floor and obviously because we're the best floor. Like,
yeah,
we have nothing bad to say about it. You know, it's like the best one, even though we're just fucking talking about it.
Dude, that's so like egotistical. What the hell?
But yeah, so on the 5th floor, it's not uncommon on a college campus that you smell like weed or you see like drugs. It's not uncommon, even though it's like a dry campus and we don't like allow those things on there.
It's gonna be there.
Obviously, people are gonna fucking do that.
It's gonna be there. Like,
it's a given.
Yeah.
And also, Westchester just doesn't check the bags thoroughly.
That's just our university's fault.
Yeah, it's our university's fault, but it's not common like around I guess all college campuses. But yeah, on the 5th floor, it just smelled like straight up weed. Like as soon as you come in, like I'm sure half the people in there are high. Like every single time we walk down. And yeah, it's like it's a whole thing. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I think we got all that right.
Mm-hmm.
Overall crazy shit.
Overall
crazy shit. All right. So this is like all crazy shit that relatively happens just like outside of campus or outside of the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
And one is racing down to Lawrence. This one's just really funny because we're boys. We do boy things. And when we were going down to Lawrence, which is the shit food place that we were talking about, me, my friend Michael, and Sam all just like were like look at each other.
Let's run.
Yeah, let's run. We just like bolted all the way to fucking Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. And that's been like a common thing.
Like I don't know why we do it.
Yeah, there's no reason for why we do it.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
And also at the beginning of the semester, me, my friend Kelly, and Olivia, and Sam.
Yeah.
We all went to go get Chinese.
Yep.
My friend Olivia like. What was it? I don't even know. It was like King's Garden basically.
Mm-hmm. Which is near.
So she called
campus.
King's Garden and she's like, "Yo, I want this, I want this, I want this," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not doing delivery. You got to pick it up. It's 20 minutes away." During a hurricane.
Obviously, you know why they did it, but the whole entire experience is crazy. I actually wasn't there for that because I was literally like in the middle of New Jersey, like dropping my sister off in the airport. But I'm just, Reese, you could like tell them about how all that shit went.
So it was just pouring rain. They're like, some of the vehicles were just engulfed in water, and I had a t-shirt and shorts on.
Yeah, like
everyone else had an umbrella except for me.
And we got a fire ass picture of Reese in like a little tricycle. Fucking show the picture right now.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
It's so funny.
Goes so hard.
Yeah, I like came back to the dorms. Like every step I took, it was just like a puddle. And some kid like looked at me and laughed at me like, haha, like you're fucking wet. I was like,
no, I was like, said that.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
That's tough.
I was like, yeah. But like overall, it's just like funny. Do you want to talk about Sam and Sam at the frat party?
Oh yeah. So this happened this semester where we're like, okay, it's time to go to some frat parties. Because first semester, we didn't fuck around with that shit. We were doing our own thing.
Right.
Second semester, we're going to frat parties. And one of the nights, we actually weren't going. And our friends, Kelly and Olivia, went. And we tried to get Sam and our other friend, Sam, to get into the fucking frat.
Yeah.
That shit was insane. They told us the whole story of how legit, like, both of them got in, and as soon as they walked up, they fucking immediately reject them. They had the whole fives rule, that's just common thing on campus.
Yeah,
and
after they rejected him, like, because the guy like walked out the door, he's like, "You can't fucking be here. You're not invited. You're not invited." And they're like, "Damn,
chill." Yeah, they're popping off on him,
right? And then immediately after, because somebody I know, Sam, was smoking under the fire alarm. Or not, the fire alarm. And fire alarm goes off. 30 girls just like go run out the door. Yeah. Like run out the door. And then Sam and Sam were just like,
"Are you good?
The fuck?" I'm like,
good,
what? Like what?
Yeah.
It was just so weird.
And they were also originally supposed to dress up as girls in order to get in, and that didn't actually happen. We're planning on having that happen, and we might get a video of it, but I don't know. It's a toss up.
All right. Another crazy shit is I went to 7-Eleven with my good friend Katie, and a bunch of these people come out of a party drunk as fuck. One random girl asked me, she's like, "Hey, should I sleep with this random guy? Like, he sounds really cool." And I'm like, "Girl, the fuck?" Like, it was just so funny. And then me and Katie look at each other like, just do your own thing. Like, that's not what I should have said, but like,
what do you say in that position?
No.
I mean, like, still.
I was just like really like intimidated, I guess, because like it was like I just never dealt with like a drunk person my age, like ever, like that drunk, and I was just like, what is going on?
Right. And there was also another time where we went to 7-Eleven, and we had this guy come in, and he was full on Kanye West, like pulled one of those. He was like, "I am the mayor. I am God." Like straight faced, fucking told everyone in the store. It was a whole thing.
It was just funny.
It was.
He like looked at the kids, like not us. He looked at like the other kids like antagonizing him, and he's like, "I know the fucking mayor. Don't fuck with me, bitch. Don't fucking fuck with me."
You remember his fit too?
Yeah, he looked.
Yo, this fit was.
It was drippy. It was drippy.
He got a drippy ass fit.
It was like honestly, it was like lightning purple, like sweatpants with like a lightning purple hoodie, and he was like in his 40s. And his wife is like, "Let's go! Like, you're embarrassing me." I was like, "What's going on here?"
And we're over here like, we're just trying to order like our fucking food. We're trying to get like our fucking
like we just went because we were hungry, and I was like, "Damn."
I'm trying to get ice cream, dog. Like I want to like fucking have a good time.
All right, Christian Bonfire.
Christian Bonfire. Going back to our first week, there were these guys on campus selling beer. It was root beer. Yeah, and he was sending out invitations for a bonfire party. Now, us being like fucking clueless and oblivious,
we were like, Second day.
Yeah, this was second day. Honestly, that's another thing they don't tell you about like college is that like if you just see someone out like advertising like a fucking like party, it's for an organization or something like that.
Right.
Like I don't know why. Like you honestly, you could have just picked that up, but like we didn't. But so they hand us this paper like, hey, come to this like bonfire party we're having like at our house, like off campus. And we're like, all right, sure. You know, we'll do it. We'll have a good time. Maybe drink a little. Us and some other people from our dorm who were also expecting like a
party.
Yeah, party. Get on there and it's literally like a cookout.
It was,
like
it was
cookout.
nice though. Like I met,
was nice.
I met some cool people, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
We met our friend Olivia there, who was actually across the hall from me that we didn't know at the time. We met some other people. We met a lot of seniors that were like talking to us, had a good time. But it was funny that we showed up and legit it was like tables full of just soda.
I mean, it was good soda.
They had the off-brand stuff, didn't they?
No, it was like Mountain Dew. It was like Mountain Dew, like watermelon.
Oh,
so right. Good.
Did they have the punch too? I don't remember.
They did.
Yeah.
They had like some fruit punch.
And also we had Banjo Guy. That dude is an absolute legend.
He just goes around campus and just plays the banjo. And he's like, I'm his biggest fan. I'm like, yo, Banjo Guy, play me a song.
Play Wonderwall.
Yeah, I keep telling him to play Wonderwall. He doesn't know it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite an interesting experience.
All right. One last thing that we need to talk about in overall crazy shit is probably the craziest thing that I've ever seen, where these fucking protesters, like, I don't know if they were religious or not, but
it was the anti-religion protesters.
Yeah, okay. It was the anti-religion protesters telling women to go back in the kitchen where they belong. How do you feel about that, Mike?
I like it now. No, it's fucking awful. Like legit though. Like they were saying some like fucked up shit, but apparently like they're doing it on purpose to get like a rile out of people. Like it's not like an actual like organization that people follow.
Right, and it was just awful. And they were just like, get back in the kitchen, and then like apparently there was protesters against those protesters.
Yeah, like at the same time, it's a whole fucking shit show.
Really,
the fact that they're even allowed on campus is beyond me.
Well, like the whole thing is like, if they're not doing any harm to anybody, they can protest whatever they want.
Right,
it doesn't mean it has to be like great though. All right.
So we're gonna cut real quick to some interview questions that we have for some people on campus. So we'll get back to you in a second.
Oh shit!
I see men. Let me explain. So, smash or pass? Like, Rami, smash or pass?
Smash. Oh my god, fucking. Tell me yes, man.
Rami, smash or pass?
Smash.
Why? First of all, how's college going for you guys?
Fucking awful, okay. It's fucking awesome. I really enjoyed my time here. I've gone next year, junior now. The time I left here, I just turned 21, so I was doing the outside of Westchester.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, man. So we did that part of it. Fucking frats, they're boring. You need dirty.
Respect.
I'd rather go to the bar and just sit down with friends and do that one.
Preach is the choir, man. Oh yeah. So anyway, what's the least sexy last name?
Least sexy last name. Well, I can't say. It is Wagner. That is the last name of my
Wagner?
girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend's last name is Wagner.
Oh, you hate to see it. That's
I know.
tough, dude. Yeah. Hey, it's like 60 degrees. Finally, some warm weather. How you doing, man?
How are you?
All right. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Is that all right?
All right.
All right. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So, beta or alpha?
Sigma.
I like it. I like it. I
Good
like
answer.
it. Good answer. All right. Rami, smash and pass.
Dude, ram this. Come on.
Beta or alpha?
Alpha?
All right, and why?
Are you talking about like alpha and stuff?
Talk about alpha in general. Beta or alpha? Beta or alpha?
Me?
Yeah.
It depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Probably alpha.
Okay.
A little beta in me though.
Well, why?
I'm a sweet guy, but
Okay.
whenever it gets down to the nitty gritty, I'll put the alpha side in. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
All right.
What's your best dance move?
Dance move. I can gritty really good.
Oh.
I get bread. All these fucking.
And we're back. So now we got some drama.
All right.
Some drama that happens all on campus or in our dorms.
And here's our special guest, Keyon Davis. Would you like to say anything, Keyon?
Yo. Look for 20s.
It's fucking 420.
All right.
But Keyon doesn't smoke. He doesn't.
Oh my god.
No.
All right. So the first drama that we're going to talk about is actually my roommate. My roommate, love you, Ryan. He's kind of a little bit of a mess.
So, do you know like frat boys and like their whole like demeanor, how they're kind of like shitheads? So
Yeah.
Ryan's like a good version of that. That's what we'll say off the bat. He's our good friend.
He's
like,
really
all of
like
us.
generous, and he's super nice, super helpful. The only like real drama with him is like he doesn't clean up his room.
And his
like,
alarm.
Yeah, like all right. So the alarm is like his whole. It's his whole separate story. Can you actually scoot over a little bit that way?
Yeah.
Awesome. The alarm situation is a whole separate story. I wake up before him. 10 minutes later, his alarm goes off. It's so loud that people all the way across the hall can hear it. It's so loud that my neighbors
Sam.
hear it vividly. Yeah, Sam hears it vividly. And I wake up right next to it. It's just like, I'm like, Ryan, come on.
It's an actual alarm, not just like the fucking like default like sound or whatever.
No, it's just like...
It's just like an actual fucking like,
yeah,
alarm.
like an actual like alarm. I'm like, can you play music?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather jam out to music than that. Like, what the hell? But like, other than that, like, that's like really all the drama I have with him. Overall, like, I love my roommate. He's great.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your roommate.
So, I had two roommates. I was in a trio. Originally, I was supposed to be in a duo, but something happened with Westchester. They fucked up my dorms like 2 times. And that's how I got like the room situation I was in, which I can't really say I'm really pissed over after what happened, and I'll get to that in a second. But essentially, I had 2 roommates in the beginning, and one of them is like one of like the coolest people I ever met. He's super down to earth. I had like a lot in common with him. He wasn't very obtrusive in the dorm. He kept to himself. He like didn't cause any like shit. He didn't start any shit with me. That kind of thing. And then there was the other roommate. Let me say this right off the bat that he like wasn't inherently a bad person per se, but it's his like shitty actions. Like it's like I'll explain it in a second, but after he left, which both of them did at the end of the semester, he gave me like a goodbye or whatever, and he went off and went to his own college, a different college, and he like gave me a heartfelt goodbye, and like that was nice. But the shit that he had to put me through was something else.
It was like this. It was like the food and his girlfriend.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So essentially, like when I first met him, my first impressions of him were, oh, this guy is like, he looks scary. I'm literally not even gonna lie. I actually like was like, oh, he looks kind of scary. Like he looks like he can like fuck me up. With my other roommate, like no. And we had like good conversations. We were talking like a lot about our past. I had lunch with him a couple times. With our one friend Olivia. I learned a lot about him. But as like time passed, he would stay up late at night. Playing video games, which inherently I don't have a problem with, but it's that the volume was almost to the max.
Right.
Like it was a whole thing, and he would make the room smell really bad. Like other people in the hallway could fucking smell it. It's not even a joke. I'm literally not even kidding.
Like
literally, other people could smell it.
It was so bad. Like when you open his door, it was like a fog. It was like a fog, and it would go in your nose and like burn your fucking nostrils.
He was the reason why I bought a diffuser.
Yeah.
He was the reason why I bought a diffuser.
Yeah.
And I had like maybe like 2 bottles of like Febreze just to fucking mask the scent. I was doing that shit all fucking day. And it didn't help that partway through the semester he brought a girl over. Inherently, I don't have a problem with that. Like I'm pretty lenient when it comes to that. Just like don't stay over, I guess. Like you guys can hang out in the room, like stay on your bed, do all that kind of shit. Like I'm fine with that. But it's like staying over in the room with like another girl. Like it's not for me.
It's also like your room.
It's
and
also
it's
my
just
room.
like mega disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. And what you have to do when you're in the dorms, you have to sign a roommate agreement. They make you do that first semester, and it's like ground rules that you can report to your RA, like if they're violating it, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like our disagreements, but they never really turned into fights. And there was one time where he left sushi in his fridge because him and his girlfriend went out. And I guess he was like, he forgot about it because I came in the room. His refrigerator was unplugged first of all because he noticed the scent, and it smelled like fucking rotten fish.
It was awful.
Like, try to imagine just like dumpster, and then
you're sleeping in that.
Fucking yeah, you're sleeping in that.
You're sleeping in that.
Yeah. I had to straight up go over across the hall, and I was like, dude, I need to get this shit like out of here, dog. I mean, like, we were spraying the door.
You came out lucky though.
I did.
You did.
Because even though that all that happened and like all that shit, like even it wasn't even like just that as well. It's like the food he would bring in. He'd bring in like Chinese food, which like inherently like makes the room stink because it's Chinese food. I don't know.
You got a lot of dirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. He left a lot of trash in the room that he didn't clean up, like in his corner that I had to like fucking pick all of his shit up. Not fun. I really did not like that. And he like wouldn't throw out his trash, and that kind of thing. Although I will say I did like his girlfriend for the reason that she had really good taste in anime and music. She had some good ass taste in fucking that shit. But yeah, luckily though for me, he did move out at the end of the semester, and I was in the room by myself. I rearranged it. It looks beautiful. I got like a whole setup going. I love it. It's great.
Let's give it the key. Let's give it the Keyon right now. All right. So Keyon, we have.
Well, first of all, do you want to talk about your roommate?
Nah.
All right.
You good?
All right.
You homies? Okay.
All right. So Keyon, I'm just gonna give the mic to you real quick. All right. Actually, I need to ask you a question first. All right. So, one big drama that us as a group had was the semi-ugly thing. So, do you really want? So, let's just like hear your side of the story and just explain to the audience what that was.
Alright, so first rule, so we're using like people that we're not like trying to talk about.
We use Sam. We use Sam.
Sam. Why gotta
Well, no,
be
it's gotta be a girl
Sam?
name.
Sam is a girl name.
I guess.
Like
so.
Sammy.
Fine.
Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy.
Alright, so
Let's let him just get in here.
Yeah.
so I don't even know how to like start this because I'm gonna be really long-winded about it. So I don't
It's alright. Just start where you feel.
Like,
What's our time on it? We got time, right?
I'm sure we do.
yeah, we definitely should have time.
Alright.
But anyway, so I guess it was during what was it? It was Friday night. It was like Friday night.
Pep rally.
Yep.
No. That's. It's like I gotta talk about that after I talk about how.
Okay.
Yeah, go into it.
So it was like it's Friday night. I'm chilling. It's like after a little bummy party that I went to with the bro. It was bad. So we come back, we're chilling, and then I go text the bros, talking about my night. Like I'm lit. We talking. I tell them about this other thing that happened. It was on Wednesday. It was just like this prep rally, whatever. Like I had a shorty, like shorty with me. It didn't matter. And they was like, we saying Sammy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
say
say
Sammy. Say Sammy. Say Sammy.
So that's kind of weird. I just want to be in. Like, I'm not just stay in.
Just use it.
Like, but anyway. So like, I would say so. Sammy, I don't know. So like, we danced like a little bit. It was nothing. But the other thing that made it something was when I was texting the bros, I like said some shit that like made it seem like it was nothing, but it was some bullshit. I said some bullshit. It was basically some bullshit.
What bullshit did you say?
Alright,
Be explicit. Be explicit.
Bro, like, the bullshit I said was she was semi-ugly. Like, that's all it was. Like, all it was.
Semi-ugly.
That's all it was. Then the bros started going crazy, and then I forget what like how it happened. I think it's like I told the movie, and then somebody else told somebody else. I forget who. I don't know.
If you don't know who, just say Sam.
It was like but I don't know names anyway. So I'm just like somebody else told somebody else. Like somebody else told somebody else, and then led up to the other Sam was like, wait, I need to know now. And so then she saw the messages. It's like, yo, why you do this to me? I was like, it's not my fault. I was just typing.
And she was talking about it for a
but
while.
she would say so
thing.
many jokes about it. It was crazy.
Like, I remember like 2 months this incident passed, and she still like brought it up after those 2 months.
Yeah. And like we've been trying to tell her, and thankfully she did listen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything like resolved completely fine, but yeah.
All right.
How was that?
All right. Now let's talk about the Sam period thing.
The Sam period thing. So the roommate that I was talking about that was not here for this semester was also the one that brought this girl over that had pink hair, right?
Yeah.
It was like pink hair or something. They do the deed in the room. They do the devil's tango.
Yeah.
They're doing all that shit.
They did the nasty in the room.
Yep. And it was her time of the month. And it got all over the bed. So he was going around to everyone and asking for a tampon.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he went to my room, and I'm like, dude.
I am a fucking guy.
Yeah! Like,
I am a fucking guy.
I'm a guy. Like, do you think I have that here?
You want condoms? I got you, dog. But fucking tampons? Hell no.
I was like,
it was,
hello?
Yeah.
I do not have that.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Keyon, you want to add anything about that?
I don't even remember when that happened.
Yeah, that was before like Keyon was really like hanging out with us.
All right.
Really?
Now this is something that we're gonna all talk about. Let's talk about Dollar Boys.
So this is something that's on our floor that we've experienced a lot. This also goes for like dorm shit, but last semester we had this one guy. We'll call him Samantha because he's a fucking bitch. We call him Samantha because he's a bitch.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, the thing about Samantha is Samantha's a little rowdy, and like Samantha would go through the doors or would walk through the hallway and just like cause like a riot.
Mm-hmm.
She would just like cause a riot.
Yeah. And there was one day where he came home from, I guess, a party, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And
came in from party.
It was like 4 a.m. maybe, and he had lost his phone. So instead of, acting like normally, like going to someone for help or trying to call people up and ask him like where like he might have left him, retrace his stuff, something like that, he was banging, he was screaming, he was doing all that fucking shit at 4 a.m.
4 a.m, this man was banging on walls, screaming, and said a pretty inappropriate word that most people just shouldn't say. Most people that are not in that, race or ethnicity that shouldn't say.
Yeah.
And this kid was white.
Yep.
And
it was white.
Is white, my fault. But like, it just like pissed off so many people because it's supposed to be a peaceful, like, it's quiet hours, it's supposed to be peaceful. Mm-hmm. But like, he was causing a riot that everyone in the hallway could hear. Mm-hmm. And overall, it's just disrespectful.
Yeah. And the thing was too is that like everyone in the group chat, our group chat was pissed. We went to our RA and we were complaining about it, and thankfully like action was taken. He did get like suspension or whatever, like for like a hot minute, but he's still there. Do you actually know like what happened? I know it was a suspension.
It was
like,
probation.
Probation, yeah. So they did that, and it was like we didn't hear anything from him since, I guess. But you know, we still see him like around in the dorms, like.
And you know what? Like things have settled down. The drama's over, and that's awesome.
Yeah, like someone fucking talked sense into that nutcase.
All right. Now, next topic is high school versus college.
High school versus college. So, in high school, well, where do we want to start with it?
Let's start with the pros. So, some pros that I found in being in college rather than high school is meeting people, really, because I never really connected to people this closely before in high school because we live with each other. It's a whole different experience. Yeah. You see that person every single day of every single, almost of every single minute. If you like hang out in the dorms a lot, then you just like connect with them so easily.
And also, it's like another thing too is that like, even though in high school it's like you're seeing the same people each day for 8 hours, like you know them like growing up, all that stuff. It's like you don't really get the same connection, I'd say. Because it's either your schedules don't line up or that kind of thing. With college, again, especially if you're living on campus, you have a lot of free time. You in high school you choose your classes, but again, it's within that 8 hours, and there's little variation. Yet you don't get you get barely any breaks.
Right.
Like you get like study hall, lunch, whatever, big fucking whoop. Get like a fucking like roaches in your sandwich, whatever. But with college, because you're choosing your classes, and classes normally run from like 45 minutes to like an hour and like 15, you only get like so many a day, and like in total you'll have just like maybe 4 or 5 classes, and that's all you really need to fill like a semester's credit. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's a much better experience, I guess, when you have like not that much free time, or no, not that much free time. You have more free time than you do than in high school.
Right, and like I feel like in college you can have a much more flexible schedule rather than high school, because you get to pick those classes. Right. And you can pick things that you're interested in. You know, you can be like, oh, I just want to take this class because I feel like it.
Exactly.
But you can do that in high school, but I feel like there's a wider variety in college. Keyon, do you have anything you want to add about pros of college than high school?
I mean, I would say like a pro of college to high school would probably be just like you have more freedom to do stuff, like to do like your class where like nobody's like pressuring you to do anything. You have to do everything yourself to just prepare you for like everything else afterwards. Stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know what else to add.
I'll continue from here. Another pro that I thought of as well was that in high school there's a lot of cliques. Like if you're not in like, you're defined by like your group, I guess, in like high school.
Right. It's like you're either the jocks, you know, it's not really like that stereotypical anymore, I would say, but there is definitely different groups in high school that you can be categorized in, or you can be categorized individually.
And it's also like sitting alone in high school meant you're a fucking loser. You sit alone in college, it means, oh, that person is productive and they're getting their work done. Or it's that person values their time. Getting their like, just like their me time. Yeah. Like because everyone, you realize when you get there is that like everyone does their own thing. After high school, everyone does their own thing. It's not, you're not all working towards like a goal of like just graduating and then getting like a fucking degree and that's it. In college, it's, you have like an aspiration and you're working towards getting there. And you do whatever your major like wants, and you do all that kind of thing. So it's like, it's cool. And also when you get to college, going back to the whole cliques thing, is that like people are a lot less mean. Like they legit, you can probably go up to someone and be like, oh, hey, like nice shirt. and like even if it's like a fucking like
because people are mature by that time.
They're a lot more mature and they're not like super petty and shit. Be like, oh, why would you wear like a Pikachu hat? And then if I fucking see someone on campus, I'm like, that's a cool ass Pikachu hat, you know? What
right.
I mean? Like straight up like something out of like
thank you.
Yeah. It's not fucking like Mean Girls in high school.
And I would like to talk about the cons now.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple. You want to start us off?
Yeah, I would love to start us off. Now, overall, I think we can all agree that college is definitely better than high school.
Yeah.
But one thing that I have in my opinion, that I like about high school versus college is the stress level.
Yeah.
In college, you have to constantly check your emails, make sure everything's done. Oh, are your classes scheduled? You have to do it in this time. Oh, wait, got to make sure you get all these credits and make sure, like, you have a C in your class instead of a D. It's just a lot more stressful on a person rather than in high school.
It's another thing that they don't tell you really that much about. In high school, again, everything's super structured. Everyone's working towards the same goal. With college, it's like you can't just go around and ask someone, like, oh, what are we doing, like, for
so-and-so.
For so-and-so, yeah. You have to do all this shit on your own. You have to, again, like Reese said, check your emails. You need to do all that shit, or else, like, you're going to fall mad behind. And it's also like, okay, for my major, I need to do this, or I need to volunteer here, or I need to, like, do this kind of thing, or do a big project that's, like, outside of class. Like, that doesn't happen in high school, like, where you have to do projects that much, like, outside of class. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just a lot to, like, take in, especially, like, your first semester when you're getting used to everything. And we actually had a class that all freshmen, like first semester freshmen, are required to take, which is first year experience. We could say like a lot about it.
Fuck that class.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't. There's nothing really much to say. It's just like introducing you to like the college like life.
Right.
But like it's not done very well. I don't think. I don't know.
You want to add anything?
No, I really don't.
All right. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we have to talk about differences in the classroom environment of high school versus college. Overall, I think the classroom structure very similar.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, for one thing, you have lecture halls, and that's like where you have 1 million seats, and then just like a stage essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like really see that, I guess, in high school, except for like I guess like a theater that's like in your class or whatever, and you get like your class is like chorus or something.
Right. And the teacher goes at a pace, stays at that pace. You have to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not very like, oh, we're gonna stop at any question, like stop, like, you know, do this work. It's just like constant information being shoved down your throat until you like just write it all down.
Mm-hmm. There's not that many like intimate like classes really that are like small that you could like talk to your professor in. But I mean there are, and like I have like a
writing.
Like writing for example. Like everyone has to take that, and it's like you will be in like with your professor, and like that's cool and all, but it's like most classes it's like that. Also another thing too is that skipping classes is so easy. In high school you get written up. In college,
whatever.
Yeah. Like you skip a class, but the only thing is that it's hurting yourself because it's your money that you're using, obviously.
Right.
So like it's really up to you if you want to go to a class or not. But I'd say personally for me, I usually always go to my classes because I don't want to like have some shit where they go over information that's not like on our like site.
To me, it depends on the class. If it's a class that I know every single day is going to be the same thing and I can like do it on my computer, whatever, I can like, I'm just like, I'm not going to like my bio because I know where the notes are and I know this is what we're going to go over. Okay. But like like my lab that I need to go to every single day. I've not skipped the lab because they do these Y2Ks that are worth points that I need to fulfill.
Right.
And it's like if I missed the lab, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
it's like that kind of thing.
And yeah, of course, every major is going to be different. So it really your major depends on like your course like load. essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
All right.
it's
We'll talk about the future.
the future. So this is our first episode of the podcast. I
Welcome.
hope you enjoyed. We're gonna be making more of them. We're gonna have more guests on, more stuff like that. And for our future, if we're still doing this in like a year or 2 years or 3 years, we're gonna give our like college experiences / life like
Every now and then.
every like end of the year, essentially, like around this time, and that'll be a pretty cool thing because we'll have some definitely new things to say. Again, we are just freshmen.
Yeah. Freshman
So-
with some dreams.
Mhm.
All right. Shout out to Keyon. Keyon, would you like to say anything before you leave?
Nah, I don't got nothing else to say.
All
I can say happy 420.
Yeah, happy 420.
All right. That.
420.
All right.
Also Banana Day.
Yeah, it's Banana Day in Westchester University.
Yeah.
Awesome
fucking
sauce.
sick.
Well, welcome to the regular podcast. My name is Reese's Pieces,
I'm Mike and Ike.
and see you later, normies.
See ya.
Let's get it.
That was a whole thing. What was the time that ran?
It was like
for?
50.
Really? Okay. Yeah, 55.